Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
And I'm awake and not passed out like John Cena last week. So there you go.
But you do have a smile on your face.
Eh, sitting in the hotel room, but there's no hooker, so I don't. I'm disappointed.
Well, it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with our top fives from 2025. Um, we are at the ending of the year. Only one more week of this year. Um, and yeah, 2025, quite the year to say the least. Um, so me and Kaliko have apprised our list of our top five women wrestlers of the year, our top five matches of the year, and our top five men of the year. Um, Usually we do top five tag teams, but let's kind of face it, tag team wrestling was not really present this year. And I mean, there's only so many years you could have FTR at the top of your list.
It was, but I would have said Hurt Business number one.
But is that a tag team or is that a faction?
Yes.
Oh, so we decided to cut tag teams this year and do matches instead. We'll kind of throw in some, free for alls here and there as well. Um, so let's get into it. Our top five women wrestlers of 2025. And I'm going to be completely honest. This was incredibly difficult. Because there have been so many incredible women that did so many incredible things this year. It was kind of almost impossible to narrow it down to just five. Um, I was able to do it. Even looking at my list now, I'm a little iffy, but uh, I'm locking it in and I'm staying with what I have on my paper. What about you, Kaliko?
I mean, honestly, this was probably the toughest one because you had, well, between all of the promotions, they all had a top person who was just running it, right?
Right.
And and it was tough, specifically in as far as like I think I'm okay with my number one pick, uh, but it was a lot of like there's a big case you can make for a lot of other people,
I agree.
but it was tough. This was tough, even with AEW because you're thinking like, okay, Tony's been running it, but Blake had a nice little run
Statlander kind of showed up for the ending there.
at the end, and then you got Banks who only lost to Statlander and Storm. So I mean, it's tough.
Well, let's start off. I'll start with my number five, and that is a one Soul Ruka. Soul showed up this year, whether it was being a double champion, the Speed and North American champion, which she won, I believe that during Stand and Deliver, so in April. She had a pretty nice run with that title, with both titles, honestly. She had banger matches with the likes of Kalani Jordan and what is her name? Tatum Paxley. She was able to be a part of the Revolution paid preview with, a lot of heavy hitters. Had a match on SmackDown against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Um, so, and I mean, she kind of topped the year off by with a W on Bailey like a week ago. So I mean, Soul again. This was a breakout year for her. She's only showed how much she improved and how much of a star she's going to be in the next couple of years. When we do talk about the Royal Rumble, um, I'm not gonna lie. I think Soul might have a shot at that. But for 2025, I think it was a breakout year. She showed that she can have banger matches, which she's done in and time out. She even was a part of the winning NXT team against TNA. So yeah, Soul Luca, for all of those reasons, is number 5 on my top 5. Coligo.
Man, I mean, my number five was a double champion for a different reason, and I went with JC Jane.
Hmm.
And the reason I went with JC because Soul was kind of on the momentum to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was expected for her to be at this point. Nobody saw JC Jane coming. I'm,
No, they did not.
I didn't. No one saw JC Jane coming, and
She
no
was
one
not on
saw
the bingo
JC
card.
nowhere near the bingo card. It not the main bingo card, not the backup bingo card. That thing wasn't even on the idea board for the bingo card. Uh, for her to beat Stephanie McCurr and become a double champion with TNA. So I mean, she kind of showed that she was not the third wheel. So becoming TNA champion, a two-time NXT champion, and solidifying herself as a heel, the heel that is beatable, but can beat you if you overlook her. And especially considering that everyone kind of saw her as the third wheel from 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 Fatal Attraction. So I mean,
Toxic
she took
attraction.
it off. Or Toxic Attraction, right? Toxic Attraction. So I mean, she took it and ran with it. So I gotta give her props. Number five, JCJ.
That brings me to my number 4, and that is A1 JC Jane. You can't really talk about NXT in 2025 without talking about the Rockstar. She shocked the world, and she kept proving everybody wrong. Whether it was beating Stephanie McCoy, one of the only people to pin Stephanie McCoy in 2025, whether that was winning the NXT Championship, winning the TNA Championship, leading the NXT women against the TNA women, um, having good matches on top of it. JC didn't establish herself as a champion this year. JC Jane established herself as the go-to woman in NXT. Like I said, you can't really talk about 2025 NXT without talking about JC Jane. Um, she, like you said, certainly proved that she was not the third wheel. She was not the Janetti of Toxic Attraction. She was the Heartbreak Chick. She was the Shawn Michaels, because she's still there. And not only is she still there, she's operating literally at the highest level that she can get in NXT. Um, just like you said, a couple weeks ago reclaimed her women NXT Women's Championship. Only in a very small only in a small margin of women that have actually held that championship twice. So, I mean, JC just in 1 year really made a lot of history and established herself, again, in good company as a two-time NXT Women's Champion. So yeah, JC Jane, number four.
Well, damn, I feel like we just flip flopped because my number four was Soul Rook.
Okay, we're basically on the same level at this point.
We're on the same point. It's potato potato because my number four is Ulruka because she putting up banger matches, had the SmackDown debut, Speed Champion, North American Champion. Literally had banger matches with Kalani, had banger matches with uh, who else did she have? She had the banger with Blake, even with a bum leg. The only thing that stopped her literally was an injury. And
Right.
even then, the injury was only like a month and some change along. So that just kind of shows you like even though she gets hurt, she heals quick. And the one thing I like about Sol Ruka is that it is so auto rocket power ish, but it fits her to the T. And people didn't know she was black. People didn't know she was black. That was the funniest part. I didn't know she was black. But yeah, the win over Bailey just cemented the year that they're expecting her to have next year. So I mean, yeah, everything you said, then some. She killed NXT. I don't think she has anything else to prove there other than probably getting Zarya over. But other than that, that's about it.
And that might be her greatest challenge to date. Uh, alright, that brings us to my number three. And that is, how's it go? Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. 2025 was still the year of Storm. She didn't start the year off as champion. That would go to Mariah May. But she did put her in the performance of a lifetime as Tony Storm. Not, timeless time Tony Storm, but normal rock or roll Tony Storm. To trick Mariah May. I mean, some might say that that could have gone better, and I definitely could see that, but just the just the fact that they attempted that was just absolute cinema. She would go on to beat Mariah May to reclaim her women's championship. She would go to have the story, the Hollywood ending match, which quite arguably is one of the best ending to any AEW feud to date, in my opinion. Like that was just again absolute cinema, no pun intended. Um, she went on. Not only did she, obviously have a lot of great matches, but she also put talent over. While she didn't establish herself as, the beatable champion, she did take L's in tag team matches to kind of give some of the girls, a leg up to feel like, her title reign would be in jeopardy. Everybody knew that it wasn't because she is literally her in AEW. But yeah. Then you have the match that she had with literally the Dragon Slayer beating Mercedes Monet and at All Out. Was it All Out or All In? I think it was All In. All in Texas. A match a lot of people did not think she was going to win, but obviously she's establishing herself as bigger than the CEO. And then, you go to the highest of those highs, and then you do the right thing and you drop the title to a very deserving Chris Statlander. Um, Tony Storm just proved why she's up there as the GOAT, um, and why she is in the position that she's in. She just had, um, you know, just continuing what has been an amazing run for her, in 2025, and that's why she's my number three.
Hmm. My number three was Tiffany Stratton.
Hmm.
I it it starting the year, cashing in the Money in the Bank, um, beating Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, having the banger against Jade, beating Nia Jax. Um, she kind of established herself as a really solid wrestler, in 2025. She was over like Rover when she cashed in. Um, I think she's a better heel than she is a face, but I digress. But even with that, I mean, having the belt for most of 2025 up until recently with Jade, right? So you can make the argument that 2025 was her year as a reign. You can make an argument she was number one for 2025. Although there are two other people ahead of her in my list. But yeah, she's had a very solid year, um, as champion in 2025. It's gonna be weird how they see her in 2026, but you cannot deny that 2025 was her year.
I mean, it was a
But
good.
yeah, three, Tiffy time.
All right. Well, that brings me to my number two, and that is the man, Becky Lynch. Um, you would think, everything that she's done, like there's no more to be done for the man. And then she just kind of proves you wrong. Sports Illustrated's greatest woman of all time, and that's just not me saying it. Sports Illustrated said it, and other um, publications have as well. She came back like a house of fire, got a huge pop at WrestleMania, won the World Tag Team Championships, turned heel on Lara Valkyria, and had arguably one of the best rivalries this year, with the best quality of matches that we've seen this year as well. The match in at Backlash was fantastic, like a 5-star match. Um, they had another match at SummerSlam that, I mean, it was, I wouldn't say it was good as the one at Backlash, but it was definitely still, quality. Bailey was in there as well. She had an Intercontinental title run as well, which she dropped to, of all people, Maxine Dupree. So, and I gotta admit, she literally handed Maxine the best matches of her career, and put her over like Rover on in Madison Square Garden. Um, she's playing a fantastic heel. Um, the line where she said Bailey has to pay is paying $100 just to talk to her best friend, is reason alone to have her on this list, because that was a fantastic line. Um, but yeah, I mean, she also brought AJ Lee out of retirement as well. The only Well, not the only woman, but her first match back was against Becky Lynch. So it was a very again, for a woman that's done practically everything, there was a lot of first and a lot of new content when it came to Becky Lynch. And that's why she is my number two.
All right, number two. Number two for me was Timeless Tony Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can't have that division without Tony. Tony literally beat, not only was the champion, but she beat everybody who was everybody in that division twice over. Um, literally had one of the better matches with Sasha um, at All In. I think that match was probably Sasha's best one-on-one match. Um, then she had the final performance in LA, of course, and it just seems like she put so much thought into the story aspect, and especially in AEW, which everything is on some flippy shit. She's kind of like the person who puts the character in the story first,
Right.
which says a lot about AEW in that regard. So yeah, everything that you said and then some. Number two, Timeless Tony Storm. And my kid is sitting here. He is waiting. But once we do our number ones, he wants to give his top five.
Okay.
He's like,
Bef- Before we get into our number ones, honorable mentions I feel are in order. Um,
yes, honorable mention.
I would have to have Mariah May up there. Blake Monroe, going from the Hollywood ending with Tony Storm to becoming Blake Monroe, and I think operating higher than she had on AEW right now. So Blake would definitely be up there. Um like you said, Tiffany Stratton did not make it on my list. I think that she was just kind of operate. I feel like her year was kind of peaks and valleys. Like the highs were great, but the lows were non-existent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
who else?
I had Naomi.
Naomi, yes.
Naomi would have been one had it just followed through.
If Big
Naomi
Jim
would have
didn't
been
use his
one.
Slim
If
Jim,
Big Jim did Netflix and chill, we would have had a whole different conversation.
you're not fucking wrong.
Because she was like, I could have made, like, if that trajectory had kept going, you could have made the argument she was the wrestler of the year.
Yeah,
From
she was gonna get
selling the
she was
story with
number one.
Jade, from cashing in the money in the bank, she would have been number one. Hands fucking down. Her character development, her mic work, all of it was just on point. On point. Naomi was an honorable mention. Becky Lynch was an honorable to me, but she was kind of, to me, it's expected of her, right?
Mm,
Um, I tried to reward the people who kind of broke through or was literally the face of, you know, of the company. Tony was top two because she was just the face of AEW Women's Wrestling. Even without the belt, she's fucking the face of women's wrestling, right?
right.
So, yeah, I was trying to. It was hard because I was just like, okay, do I reward? I'm trying to reward the people who kind of stepped into it this year.
I got you. I can. I don't think that we can talk about the year and not talk about Io Sky and Rhea
Io,
Ripley.
Rhea
Phenomenal
Ripley,
this year. I mean,
Roxanne.
Oscar, like fucking Oscar, like in 2025, like a career reinsurgence and making the women's tag team titles the most relevant that they've been maybe since their inception and everything. Like,
Charlotte as a character.
oh yeah, Charlotte has had her best character development this year. And I mean, anytime you see Alexa Bliss on your screen is going to be a good time, considering we haven't seen her like for like what, like 3 years?
Yeah. So I mean, it was tough. To get it to five. I mean,
Yeah,
I would have been happy with 20, but
and I mean we can't talk about we have to talk about Holly Cameron and Puppet
oh yeah,
Monet
Harley
as well.
Cameron is fucking. Harley Cameron was like my favorite. She was one of my favorites this year.
And
She
I
was
mean
just like, oh, just a
Chelsea
sweetheart.
Green rocked it all year as well.
Chelsea Green, yep.
All right, I think we're probably on the same page with number one. So
I
I'm
think
just
we are too.
yeah,
Let's just.
we kind of narrowed it down. So let's just kind of open it up as a,
Well,
a
let's make
free
sure.
form.
Let's make sure we're on the. First, I gotta
My
make sure we're on the.
my number one is La Primera, Stephanie Vacour.
Okay, all right, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah,
Okay, there we
and
go. At least
I mean, if anybody fit the description of her this year, it was Stephanie. From going from North American champion to double champion as NXT and North American champion to defending both titles successfully,
in one
relinquishing
night.
relinquishing one, wrestling 3 times in 20 no 48 hours for Money in the Bank,
And worlds collide.
Worlds Collide, and she was on SmackDown that
SmackDown
this
the
the
night
Friday
prior.
prior,
Yep.
winning the Battle Royal, um, having an absolute, arguably the best match of the year against Io at WrestlePalooza, and then probably delivering one of not Stephanie, Tiffany's best matches that she's had in her career as well. Um, like I said, La Primera only lost one match against JC Jane, I believe. Um,
I mean, she's lost us some tags, but I mean, but
Singles.
her win loss, but other than that, she's been impeccable. Like Money in the Bank and shit like that, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, and not a lot of pins. So, I mean, everything I just told you to the listeners, like this all happened in one calendar year. She has literally climbed the mountaintop where it took girls like even Rhea Ripley took a year to win a world championship. It took her under a year to win quite literally the whole gambit, the whole shebang.
Yes,
And
she is the first woman to win all three championships in a calendar year
it is her
in
rise.
WWE history, anyway. WWE.
Her rise was just meteoric and incredible and all inspiring. So, you know, I can't deny, like I said, I can't deny that she was her this year. And I'm not. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
why she's my number one.
oh yeah, she's number one for me for a lot of other reasons amongst the wrestling, but yes, she, but she earned it though. She damn sure earned it. I don't think anyone can deny the impact that she had. Uh, I mean, that girl, she's it. And now she's going into 2026 with that same momentum, which is going to be interesting, to be quite honest, for WrestleMania season to see who's going to be her opponent.
That it will.
All right, CJ, come on over here. Look at him. He mad. He mad. He's been like, he's look. See, he mad. He wants to give his top five so bad. But we were going all across wrestling. We know you only watch WWE. See, he mad now. All right. So, who are your top five women's wrestlers for 2025? Yeah, see, it's tough, and I had to write it down.
I'm going with like war game stuff, honestly.
You're going with the women in war games.
Yeah, war games.
So Nia Jax is number five for you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nia, yeah, Nia. You know what? I will give Nia some credit. She has improved. Okay, who's your top five? Come on, you did all that yapping.
Probably AJ Lee.
AJ Lee is your four.
Okay.
Okay.
Three.
Stephanie is three? I'm gonna let you know Stephanie's one in our. This is for the year. The number one top five women wrestlers for the year. For the from 2020 from January to now.
Then Io Sky is probably three.
Io Sky. So who's number five?
Nia.
Nia's number five for you.
Four was AJ Lee.
AJ Lee was four. Okay.
Third was Io Sky.
Io Sky three. We can make an argument. Io.
Then two. Stephanie.
Stephanie Vicker.
And then one
Rhea Ripley is your number one.
Yeah.
See, Rhea Ripley is your number one. See, look at that.
Mommy's
Tough,
on
ain't
top.
it? Mommy's on top. Look at him. He's. See, there you go.
And I will say, obviously Stephanie was number one on our list, but clearly Lola Vice would be number one in my heart.
Oh no, no. Vicker is number one. That boy. The fact that I'm here says everything I need to know after meeting. Yeah, no. Felony was damn near caught.
Well, let's bring
Just
let's bring it to some of the, like we said, tag teams. Tag teams were not really prevalent this year. I think that the only like good tag team match this year was the TLC match at SummerSlam. But um, any thoughts on major tag team moments this year, Kaliko?
the one they did on SmackDown post WrestleMania was another one that stood out.
The problem is, I feel like there's less likely to have eyeballs on it because it's, people are gearing up for the big show. They're not necessarily looking at the night before for, spectacular matches.
No, this was after. This was they did TLC. It was after WrestleMania.
Well, before, after.
Same thing. Look at him, potato.
I mean, FTR was somewhat prevalent, I would say. They turned on Edge. They had the match against Edge and Christian this year. That's a thing I once didn't think I'd say again. Edge and Christian team together again. Um, then you
Yeah,
have,
that was not on the bingo card.
yeah, the Wyatt Six has been tag team champions for nearly 150 days at this point. Um, the Street Profits, I mean, the Street Profits at this point just have a constant like place on a top five list just for being like the best tag team. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I wouldn't. I mean,
And
it's
Hardy,
huh?
the Hardys.
That's true. The Hardys did some good things in TNA. Um, I can't really. I mean, despite having the tag team titles for so long, Finn Balor and DJ McDonough didn't really do anything with them. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's kind of hot potato when it came to them because of the fact that they lost to War Raiders and the New Day had a run, and yeah, so it was kind of like a hot potato on the Raw side.
and I feel like the the tag team of the year should have been New Day for everything that they've done. You know, coming into 2025 with the nuclear heat that they had, with the whole Big E situation, and then nothing came of it. It was just like super disappointing.
That part, it was disappointing.
And I mean, they held the tag team championships. They didn't do anything with them, but they had them.
Hey, better to have them than lose them than never have them at all.
Um, potato, tomato, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, tag team in itself was not a thing this year, or wasn't as highlighted and prevalent.
Yeah, I do hope that they maybe put better tag team matches, coming up, or at least showcase the tag teams a little bit more. Uh,
Well,
and,
they ain't got no choice at this point because they're gonna have to. I think the tag teams took the back burner due to the fact that we all knew Cena was retiring,
hmm,
and I think that was more the headline than anything, or the people who Cena was gonna go against.
I mean, maybe you're right about that,
On the
but
WWE aspect, yes. I mean, AEW, they tried, and the problem was it was just like the team that everybody knew that was going to be the team. They were just waiting for it, which was FTR. Even though they had Brodito and the Hurt Business and Edge and Christian and so on
right,
and so forth.
they took
TNA
a
honestly
detour.
probably had the most sap. They probably had the most solid landscape, considering that they had the Hardys come, and then Nick Nemeth and them had a run.
Yeah,
They brought back Team 3D. They had Dark State wanting to do something. So at least they had a multitude of people that were involved in it.
I feel bad for not putting Hank and Tank in there because they did try their best with those titles, and they were the ones to dethrone Fraxium as well. But
Yes.
I mean, there's only so much you could say about Hank and Tank, unfortunately. I mean, they didn't have a lot of competition to go up against.
But that's the fault of WWE for not even promoting and tag team in the first place. That's another point.
Right.
Consider Fraction were two dudes that couldn't stand each other and now they're tagged. They do that, two people that can't stand each other, but then all of a sudden they become tag team champions. Ain't that about it? But that's neither there.
The only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0 calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more win.
Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. Alright, let's get into our top 5 matches of 2025. There was a lot of fucking matches this year. It's kind of hard to narrow it down to 5, but I did find it, relatively not as bad as it could have been. The difficulty was to find matches that were not just WWE, but, outside of WWE as well. And, just in general, matches that you enjoyed, thought was, good. But what say you, Kaliko?
I mean, I've been to a lot more matches in person in 2025 than I like to give credit to. So it's really tough. It was some tough ones because I mean, I had a gang of honorable mentions on this in this shit, but I think I knew what my number one was when I saw it.
It's a Lucha Vuvu match, right?
Damn it! How did you know?
Well, until we get to number 1, tell us your number 5.
Oof, okay, number 5. Number 5 was actually the Mustafa Ali versus Mike Santana match at what was it? What the TNA?
It wasn't
The one we
Rebellion.
went to. It
Was
was
it
TNA
Rebellion?
Rebellion. I think it was Rebellion because that match honestly stole the show, in my opinion. And I think that match was the genesis of Mike Santana being looked at as that guy. Uh, we all knew Mike Santana could do it. The issue was just like, was there anybody that's going to want to pull the trigger? And I think that match put a lot of eyeballs on him as a potential champion. Even at the time they had Joe Hendry, who was like the most popular guy AEW's had in a while.
Right.
And it clearly paid off because he beat Trick. But yeah, number 5, yeah, that was that. Mike Santana, Mustafa Ali. That match was nice. Even Granny got slammed through a table. When G-Mon gets slammed through a table, all bets are off.
My number 5 is MJF versus Mark Briscoe, Thumbtack match. I can't remember what pay preview it was. I think it was Full Gear.
Probably Full Gear. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. I like the psychology of the match. Um, AEW does a lot of, clusterfuckery matches. Like literally Darby set somebody on fire this year. And, it wasn't even a surprise. Funny enough, he got injured with a simple, coast to coast. But yeah. But then you see something like this match that, yes, very violent, very, vicious, but there's also, a certain degree of psychology to it. It's not just gore for gore's sake. It's, actually, what they're doing is to hurt each other. And they might actually go out of their way to hurt themselves to hurt each other. Um, I thought it was one of the better done matches that AEW's had. So, for that reason, that's why it's my number 5. And obviously, Mark Briscoe won. So, I can't be mad, with one of them boys, taking the W. So, yeah.
Them boys. Um, Jeez, man, we went through a lot. Number 4. The number 4 match. You just can't even. I gave that one actually to Tony Storm versus Mercedes Monet, all in Texas. That match, I think that match was probably the biggest fight feel match that AEW had in 2025. But I think that match was probably more important than the Hangman Moxley match. Because most people kind of saw what would happen if Mox won. But the impetus of Tony Storm versus Mercedes Monet, and you see Monet on this run, and everyone's kind of, oh my God, if they're coming after the girl. And that match, the way it ended, it was perfect ending. Uh, Great storytelling. I think that was probably Mercedes' best match in 2025. But it just showed you once again that, hey man, there's levels to it, and Tony's just on a whole different level, and she kicked it into another gear that no one else really can. So number 4, Mercedes Monet versus Tony Storm, AEW All In.
That brings me to my number 4, and that is Stephanie Vacour versus Io Sky WrestlePalooza. I think this match did so many things. It showed how good Io is and how much of a standard bearer she's become for the women in WWE. It showed, how good of a wrestler Stephanie Vacour is to, their biggest general audiences. And the only story attached to this match was who these two women want the title, who's going to get it. It was a match again for who is the best. And they beat the hell out of each other. We saw both women pull out things that we haven't seen them pull out, whether it be for a long time or for the first time ever. Um, and just Stephanie, how she hit that twirling thing off the ropes to
Final
actually
tap.
win the match. A lot of people like to say, Stephanie, people only want to see one move from Stephanie. And I mean, to each their own, but if that match, you wasn't really thinking about that one move, her doing that one move. You were just watching to see who was actually going to come out on top, who was going to be the best, and who was going to win that title. And obviously, Stephanie came out on top that night, and is still currently holding that championship. Um, so yeah, like I said, it established Io as a standard bearer for the women's division. It showed Stephanie as the new up and coming face of the division, and both girls showed up, showed off, and arguably put in the best performance of 2025. And that's why it's my number 4.
My number 3 wasn't even a match. But, I mean, it was a match, but it was a brutal match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Elimination Chamber Toronto. And the reason that match is my number 3 Because that match is everything John Moxley wants to do except bleed to death. If you remember, that match was a pile driver through a package pile driver through barbed wire. They literally did all of the old school or not even NWA, but like USWA type wrestling without having to bleed halfway to death and have someone go to Kaiser. Well, somebody probably did go to Kaiser, just saying. But it just showed you that they could be violent without having to do over the top moves. They didn't need to do anything shocking for shocking's sake because of the simple fact that everyone knew it was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and they knew that they didn't like each other, so they were just going to go balls to the wall with it. Probably the best extreme match of 2025 for WWE because it was brutal and people couldn't stand to look away, but it didn't take away from the match. It just they nailed that match. Plus, that's probably one of the last few times we saw Kevin Owens in 2025.
It was the last time. That was his last match.
So, yeah, it was his last match. So, I mean, if and from what I've been hearing, if this is the case, what a way to go.
Let's have our fingers crossed that it's not.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. That brings me to my number 3, and that is John Cena versus AJ Styles Crown Jewel. John Cena had a lot of matches in 2025. Some hit, some missed. No fault of anybody's own. But if you're looking for the definitive final match for John Cena, I would say that it was this match against AJ Styles. I thought it was the best wrestled. It was the best storytelling. It showed both men how well they knew each other. Just from the beginning of the match, the introductions, the John Cena Never Seen 17, to AJ Styles being announced as the definitive leader of the Bullet Club. AJ Styles rocking, traditional classic AJ Styles gear. There was so many, Easter eggs and nuances to that match. Some that even the announcers couldn't really say because they were so, you know, in in house and so, close to the vest. Um, I think again, it's so John Cena's ability to wrestle. It's so AJ Styles, can still go, and it was just, chef's kiss when it came to, retirement matches. I don't know if AJ Styles is going to have, as good of a send off as John Cena did. But I feel like this was as good of any, last match as AJ Styles could have as well. Um,
Mm.
it was just the perfect storm at the perfect moment, in my opinion. That's why it's my number 3.
That match, man, I totally forgot. I mean, thought about that match, and it was like, but my number 2 actually is another John Cena match, which was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, SummerSlam 2025.
If it was going to be the WrestleMania match, we might have had a fight here. Like,
No, it was not going to be the WrestleMania match because this match should have been the match at WrestleMania. Honestly, if you wanted a WWE 2K match where everyone used all of their finish meters, this is the match for you. But it also signified the fact that they should have did right by Cody at Mania if they were going to go that route. And it just seems like they did right by Cena and Cody by letting them have the match that they should have had at Mania. They literally went everywhere in that arena, and it's significant because that is the arena where the torch was passed to Cena by The Rock. So it only made sense, for Cody to get that same sentiment. And it's only crazier that he gets that same sentiment in the same building a mere 13 years later. Or 11 years later. Yeah, 11 years later. But yeah, number 2, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. SummerSlam, not WrestleMania.
That brings me to my number 2, and that is Becky Lynch versus Lara Valkyria Backlash.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I think this was the best pure wrestling match wrestled this year. It was a traditional match that had, not just for a title, but, there was like legitimate beef between these two girls. Um, I believe there was one botch in this match that honestly only enhanced the match. Like, you don't necessarily look at it and say, oh, that ruined the match. But you could say, well, something that I believe Becky did to Lara early in the match, that would explain the botch. And then, for after everything that happened, all of the hell that these two girls put each other through, Lara winning with just, a traditional roll up, getting, Becky, off guard. Oh, it was just incredible. And then obviously Becky got her, heat back later on, beating the hell out of Lara, continuing the rivalry. But just, everything that was done in that match was just done in pure perfection. And like I said, it was arguably the best match this year. That's why it's my number 2. Alright, honorable mentions?
TLC tag team match, after WrestleMania, post WrestleMania match. What was the Evolution match? It was
Io and Rhea?
Io and Rhea. Yeah, Io Rhea Evolution. Um, Liv Rhea Raw. Um,
Soul versus Kalani, Soul versus
Soul
Tatum,
Kalani.
JC versus Vakor,
AC Victor.
Naomi versus Jade, WrestleMania.
Yeah. Rick Oba.
Yeah,
Um,
Roman Bronson from Crown Jewel.
Roman Bronson.
Um,
Who else? Oh, the Seth Roman Punk match.
Cody and Owens, the ladder match. Um,
Oh yeah, Cody Owens ladder. Yep.
John Cena versus Dom, Survivor Series.
Yep. Who else? Um, oh yeah, Naomi, Rhea, Io, triple threat.
SummerSlam again. SummerSlam
Um,
was good this year.
SummerSlam was actually pretty tight this year.
Tiffany and Jade from SummerSlam.
Yep, Tiffany Jade was a good one. Oh, I'm trying to think. Um,
The Hollywood ending match, Tony and Mariah.
Tony, yeah, that's the one. Huh? Tony Mariah Hollywood ending. Um, who else? I mean, would we put Hangman Moxley all in?
No, I wouldn't. I'd sooner put
Um,
the two matches Hangman put wrestled against Samoa Joe.
oh, Trick Henry.
Yeah, Trick Henry and Santana.
Yep. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of good matches.
Yeah, and from different companies as well.
Athena, Tony, low key.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a lot of matches.
All right, give us your number one.
Oh, number one, hands down, Io Bianca Rhea WrestleMania 41. That match is the match of the year. That match was magic. The timing was perfect. The styling was perfect. Everything was perfect about that match. I think that is the best women's match I've seen. Oh, best women's triple threat match I've seen in a while. In my lifetime. And I saw Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda in person. So to me, that match, everything just was flawless. Everybody's timing was perfect. Uh, the way the styles clashed in those matches, it was great. That segment in which Io eats a fucking double boot and then gets ran into to the kiss of death just for Rhea to come and tackle it off, bro. That was they couldn't have timed that at a better any better. Just even the finish of that match was great. I mean, yeah, that is the standard of a triple threat match, hands down, no questions asked in my book. Number one match of the year.
That brings me to my number one. And you would have to go to literally the beginning of the year. And that is CM Punk versus Seth
Seth
Rollins.
Rollins steel cage match? Oh no, no, that wasn't a steel cage match. It was the street fight.
No, the January 6th match on Raw. The
Oh,
Netflix
the
debut.
Netflix Raw. Okay.
I think that was just, the best traditional match that they had. Um, it kind of, I think that it, like I said, it was a pure traditional match that showed off the rivalry without kind of getting, clusterfuckery. Because things like afterwards did get somewhat clusterfuckery because they added, Roman to the mix. Um, it was just two guys that hated each other that had a good old fashioned wrestling match. Um, and I think that it was one of the best pure matches this year. I might be slightly biased because I was, at that event myself. And the air there was, did feel like there was something special, and the crowd was definitely, 100% invested and into it. Uh, but yeah, I do think that it was one of the better matches. You mentioned the cage match, and I low key forgot about that match, if I'm being honest. Um, but this one definitely still sticks out to in my mind because of the implications of it. So yeah, that is why CM Punk and Seth Rollins Netflix debut Raw is my number one.
Okay, CJ,
Yeah.
he wrote his down. Look at it. He wrote his top 5 matches down. You want your 5 matches? What are your top 5 matches?
Okay.
Look at him. He's like, okay, let me.
Okay. So,
Come on in.
John Cena versus
Come on,
Cody
come.
White. Okay, I'm coming.
You need to go from 5 to 1.
When John Cena lost the belt from Cody,
So,
against Cody,
so your number 5.
undisputed.
So your number. This is from a kid's perspective. So if your number 5 is Cena, Cody, SummerSlam.
Yeah,
When you lost and you were pissed for like 5 days. Got it.
yeah. Next one. That is Men War Games.
So the number 4 is your women's war game.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Number 3,
3 is Ben Warren's.
the men's war games. He's really into the war game.
Okay, CJ likes war games.
When John Cena won the belt from Cody.
So number 2.
Undisputed.
So that's your number 2.
Yeah.
So number 2.
Won it the 17th time.
So number 2 is Cena.
And then the
Cena
last
Cody Mania. I know why, but in the number 1 match for you is
when John Cena won against Dirty Dom.
wow, Intercontinental. Okay. Clearly, we have a John Cena guy here.
What tipped you off?
At this point, he's retiring, so I can't be too mad about it.
Alright, let's kind of open it up again. Paid previews here, PLEs, let's say, call them. They were a thing this year, and there was a lot of them.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, TKO was like, we getting our money's worth, bitch.
Yeah, personally, I think my favorite PLE this year was Crown Jewel. I thought that was just a really good PLE. WrestleMania was kind of give and take this year, if I'm being honest.
It was a mix. And if I remember right, we said night 1 had a good main event with a so-so undercard, and night 2 was a great undercard with a so-so main event.
Right. From what I'm hearing, from what we've been talking about, SummerSlam was actually a banger.
No, SummerSlam was solid. For some odd reason this year. Money in the Bank was solid this year too.
Worlds Collide was fantastic. Like
Worlds Collide was
the sleeper
the first
event
one.
of the
The
night.
first one.
Yeah.
The first one. The first Worlds Collide was a nice one.
Yeah, and that definitely had nothing to do with them rioting, down the street.
Yeah, and nothing to do with ICE coming around deporting people while Mexican wrestlers are wrestling.
Yeah. Huh.
It definitely got to do.
What did the WWE decide to do during ICE raids in Los Angeles? Lucha Libre.
I know, right? Of all things.
Yeah.
Um,
But we weren't
TNA
introduced
Rebellion
to
was good.
Huh?
Yeah, we were introduced. Well, everybody knew about them. Some people knew about them, but with Layeska. But the world got introduced to Layeska. TNA Rebellion. TNA had solid PLEs this year. Rebellion was good. What's the other one? Genesis? Was it Genesis?
Which one are you? When Joe Henry won the title, I think was Genesis.
No, when Trick won it, it was
When Trick won it, that was an NXT PLE.
Oh yeah, it was.
I think that was
NXT. Heatwave, that's right. So NXT had some solid ones. Who else? Who else? AEW. Texas All In was okay. It just felt like you had to put in a work shift. They're starting to put in these 8-hour days,
Yeah,
and
8 hour pay
it's
per view.
getting like people get mad at WWE is too short, but at least they ain't fucking with my time. Like, just fucking
Yeah,
like,
we know you're a busy person. Here's 3 hours. Do what you will with it.
here's your 4 matches. We go. It's only 4 matches. Shit. What more do I want? And it's like, give me the main ones, okay? Who else? So the Royal Rumble was interesting.
I think that this was.
Elimination Chamber was dope because of the fact of the heel turn. But all in all, that card was okay.
I mean, it was. I think the Elimination Chamber was good because you had the return of Jay Cargill. Obviously the reveal of Naomi. Like you said, the banger between Owens and Zayn. That random night that Trish Stratus teamed with Tiffany Stratton, and then obviously John Cena's heel turn.
And Travis Scott busting Cody Rhodes' eardrum to an oblivion.
One thing we definitely didn't mention was that the 2025 Royal Rumble was arguably the best Royal Rumble maybe in the last decade or more. Because after it was a tale of two rumbles. It was the first 15, which take it or leave it, and then you had the back 15.
The last 15 of that Royal Rumble was literally like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think that will ever be replicated again. Only for Yeet Man to win. But
I mean, at the time, it made sense, and it was the right move. He just proved them wrong.
No, he proved them right. It's just that, he still got, he can still make it. He's not giving up on, not giving up on.
He's back in the tag team with his brother. I think it's, unless he turns on Big Jim, I don't think there's anything left for him.
Oh, man, as long as them Yeet Flakes sell, he'll be there. But yeah, no, that Royal Rumble was probably the best second half Royal Rumble in history. From 15 to 30, it was just bangers. I'm trying to think of who else.
Like you said, TNA gave some good ones. The one here in Los Angeles.
Rebellion was really good.
Yeah.
Like even though it was only like a couple, 5,000 people, it was so intimate. It was just nice, super smooth.
Agreed.
I think who else? I already said. I mean, I've been to a lot, so Money in the Bank was my shit.
I mean, Survivor Series, I think that we were just biased because we were there, but just
it was fun. It was fucking fun.
That environment was just incredible to be a part of. If you wasn't there, I'd highly recommend it.
I think that was probably the best environment WWE had this year.
Yeah. I mean, considering that it was a 4-card match and they put in 46,000 people, literally over a 10,000 people per match. I think that they were cooking.
Well, there's a lot of factors in that too. The fact that it was in a city that people wouldn't mind going to, be a city that is relatively overlooked for wrestling as a market. It's crazy. It's crazy how San Diego gets like overlooked as a market compared to LA. But that factor helped them.
It's
a city where
market.
It's a big market for wrestling. And shit, this AAA thing is only going to make it better because it's 30 minutes from the border. But yeah, I went to what was the other one?
Triple A
Damn,
Mania was
Triple
good.
A Mania. Triple A Mania was good. What's the other one I'm trying to think of? I just went to this. MLW had a good one in LA. Yeah, I've been to a handful. Shit. Uh, yeah, it was a lot of good PLEs and events. Like, I will say the fans, like, I probably ran into fans and many alike at different shows, but they always, like, brought it, man. They brought it. Even the AEW show we went to, AEW 300.
Yeah.
I think that was a solid show.
Yeah, I would say
Um,
so.
I mean, yeah, it was just. I mean, yeah. Overall, pay per views, even AEW's pay per views, they delivered. So all of them delivered in some capacity when it came to like people having to put their money in and pay for these PLEs.
Well, that brings us to our top 10, top 10, top 5 men of 2025. This was difficult, for a very different reason than the women. It wasn't that there were so many to pick from, more like it was a lot more scarce, in my opinion. Um,
Really?
yeah. My base it off of this was who who did I want to see? Who made me turn the TV on and when I watched Raw and SmackDown? Who made me want to watch these programs um and put my time into watching, a 2 hour show or 3 hours in the case of Raw? Who delivered, good matches and your top dogs, your top players.
Really wasn't there that often, so you had to deal with the people who
Right.
were already there,
So
and that was the other part of it.
so
Because
yeah, and I'm not trying not to get into spoiler territory already, but you know, I feel like Seth Rollins gave a lot to be desired when it came to the content that he gave this year. Made it a bit harder to watch because I just was not feeling the whole vision thing. Um,
mhm.
I mean, CM Punk was there. He did good things, but there wasn't a lot that he gave that I that made me. I mean, 2024. I mean, you wanted to see Drew and Punk. You wanted to see what was going to happen. And I feel like both guys really cooled off really a lot. Even Cody, like, other than John Cena, like, what did Cody really do other than punk out Drew like a bitch like 15 times?
Interview people on this bus. What are you talking about?
Okay, but that doesn't get ratings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what he was doing other than fucking wrestling.
Yeah. So, trying not to, like I said, trying not to get into spoiler territory, but my my top 5 is going to be who I felt made an impact and an impression on me as a viewer. So I will get started. And that would be Darling Janawala Gunter. Um Man, did he have a year on him? I mean, he went from being heavyweight champion to chopping out to Jay Uso at the biggest stage of them all, to bitching out Pat McAfee of all people, um, beating Jay Uso on a random night and random Monday in Arizona, losing the title to CM Punk, retiring Goldberg, um, running the gambit in the John Cena tournament, only to make John Cena tap out, as he said it, like a little bitch. Um, so I mean, you could say, like I said with Tiffany Stratton's, there was peaks and valleys in her, her reign. The peaks were high, but the lows were non-existent. Gunter, the highs were fucking Mount Everest. So whenever he was on TV, it was something that you had to watch. So that's why Gunter is my number 5.
Wow, Gunther number 5. Oh, wait. I got him higher. I ain't gonna lie to you. That motherfucker was Thanos.
He's more on the 100.
Oh gosh. Oh Lord. See, he doesn't. Clearly, CJ does not. See, he retired Cena. Anybody that Cena beats, he ain't gonna.
Well, we know who
He,
CJ's number 1 is.
yeah, we know who CJ number 1 is. It's just crazy. Um, I will say this: my number 5, and it sucks because, like I said, if fucking Jim, man, Naomi was killing it. Number 5 to me is still Naomi because Naomi gave you fucking character development. She gave you character. She gave you character. She gave you drama. She gave you funny. The fact that she was riding around in that bitch with a what was it? One of those uh suitcase go karts. Like she was just everything, right? She was in her zone in the first 6 months of 2020. Hell, the first 8 months of 2025, she was in her zone. She went from being uh, a likable face to having the line of the year. Like I pushed that bitch again. I should have pushed that bitch harder. I'm just saying, like she had the line of the year and she had the development of the year, and the fact that she was never cool. I ain't never cool.
Okay, I'm done.
And I mean, damn, she was there. She was there. She was must see TV. She was must see TV. Number 5, Naomi.
Did you know that this is the men, right?
I don't even give a shit. we can, that's how good she was. But anyways, on the man's side, I have to give it to Braun. Number 5, Braun Breaker. He
The bronze.
the fact that he's just uberly violent and he ran to the ring with the spear. He was just trying to make sure like he didn't go to Kaiser breaking his neck because he was trying to spear whoever it was at the ramp further and further from the ramp just to show his hang time. But yeah, number 5, Braun Breaker, and he's came into his own too. Even with the vision, not the vision was a gift and a curse for him because you kind of knew he was going to be the guy up next. The injury just forced it sooner, and it forced him to be getting his zone sooner. And he's got the right guy to do it with him in Paul Heyman.
My 5.
Who's your number 5? Oh, he wants to jump in on this.
Okay.
Who's your number 5?
I want to jump in.
Oh, you want to jump in and just okay? Who's your 5?
Logan.
Number 5, Logan Paul.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
I mean,
All right.
he did join the Vision.
He did. And he had that crazy match at Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, yeah, Money in the Bank. The Saturday Night Main Event, he had an okay match.
Yeah.
War Games, he came clutch. Yeah, okay, we'll give you Logan.
Alright. That brings me to my number 4. And that is all ego Ethan Page. I think that he had a good year. To some degree, I would say that it was a breakout year. And that's saying something because he won the NXT World Championship, last year. But this year, North American champion twice over. Obviously he had a pretty good rivalry with Ricky Saints as well. Now he's the greatest North American. With I mean it's an overdone gimmick, but I think it fits him very well. And just for the simple fact that he's doing it with Chelsea Green now, it's just absolute cinema. I think that they work really well together, and it's just I think we need to see him on WWE TV sooner rather than later. Again, my opinion. Um, he won the AAA mixed tag team championships with Chelsea Green. Rivalry with Joe Henry. His not Triple A. His Worlds Collide match in Los Angeles was a great match in my opinion. Sneaking in and just being the heel that he is. Um, Underrated matches at Halloween Havoc. Um, yeah, I would say that Ethan Page had one of the more successful and more memorable years in 2025, and that's why he's my number four.
Hmm. Man, number 4 or 4?
Yeah.
My four. You know what's crazy? My four. It started off as one person, and then it ended up being another one. But I must say, when they changed El Grande Americano, the fact that he was at AAA and got a hero's welcome
Over an actual Mexican and
over an actual
El
dancing
Latino.
around.
Yeah.
the, the, the fact that a German who speaks Spanish was able to get it over more than the actual Mexican wrestler is just classic in itself. It's just it started off as like this gimmick that it would just get something Vince McMahon would do, but it was so good that it worked. It was working it was working, and then when El Grande got taller and he started speaking Spanish, it really was working.
I agree. Put on a couple inches and you're off to the races.
I know he gets the height surgery, and then all of a sudden, this motherfucker
And
he
he
gets the
started,
height surgery,
and I
getting
mean, he
some low
even
spookies, and
started
he's good.
dating with the Spanish correspondent as well. So I mean, he
I
is
know.
as committed as it comes.
Oh yeah, he's committed to the culture as it'll ever get.
Yeah.
I mean, if I catch him at the Los Bookies concert in February, I know something. Uh, just saying. Uh, so yeah, number 4, El Grande Americano, because shit, and plus he was all over the place. Raw, SmackDown, um, AAA, shit, NXT, shit, he was everywhere,
I wanted.
and
Oh,
he couldn't get enough of him. I couldn't get enough of him. Guilty pleasure.
I wanted to put him on this list so badly, and I did, think
You
about
got
it.
your number.
But my thing was, yes, when he was actually on TV, he was incredibly entertaining. But he didn't necessarily have any major rivalries, and he didn't win any titles. So it was kind of hard to, he was just entertaining to watch, and it was hard to just justify that.
Well, they never were going to put him in a major rivalry, but the fact that, he was beating up on Dragon Lee and goddamn, he was basically beating up it was basically him versus the Luchadors.
Right,
Hell, even Dominic recruited his services.
right, and I
And
mean,
CJ.
when they do split off, it is going to be when Dom splits off from Judgment Day. It is going to be interesting to see where Americano lies.
Yes, it will be, but as long as he keeps listening to Vicente Fernandez, he'll be good. And CJ, who's your number 4? Who's your number 4?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is his number 4. QB1, who actually, he was talking his shit as of late. So his number 4 is Cody Rhodes.
Gotcha.
And of course he loves Cody.
Alright, that brings me to my number 3, and that is Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I think if anybody has really, came into their own, it's Dirty D. I think he's kind of firing on all cylinders, when it came to becoming the Intercontinental Champion. Lying, cheating, stealing. The match with AJ Styles at SummerSlam. Winning the AAA Grand Title from America, no, from Vikino. Doing things that not even his dad did. Um, you know, all due respect to Rey Mysterio, Dominic headlined San Diego, California in front of 46,000 people. And beat, the greatest of all time, as they call him, John Cena. Um, so, I mean, it was as big as of a star Dominic became when he joined the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley as, ex-con. I think Dirty Dom really, transcended that and just took all of that momentum, and had one of the more memorable years, for so many reasons. Like I said, and it's funny to think that, it started off with him cheating on Rhea with Liv, and then trying to go back to her after she beat Liv at the Netflix Raw. You know, the ending of 2025 is very different from the beginning. So yeah, Dirty D, Dirty Dom, my number 3.
Ooh. Um, my number 3, Trick Williams.
Okay.
Because that dude was all over. If he wasn't all over TNA complaining or bragging, he was all over NXT complaining. And he was all over the city in the streets telling people about themselves because he wanted to talk about it. Uh, Trick, it's interesting because we were trying to figure out where Trick was going to go after losing the title. And for some odd reason, he just got better after losing the title. It's very rare that you see that, right? Where someone loses and we're expecting him to be on the main roster, but they chose to have him stick around and be a thorn in the side of TNA for the whole entire summer, beating their most popular wrestler ever, which to me says a lot. but as a character, he barely developed, and I always wanted to see him talk. It was crazy. The fact that the choir coming out to the main event, him disrespecting everybody at TNA, wearing the belt upside down, calling TNA tricking A. He was in his zone in 2025, and he was must see TV. Even to the point where he was wanting to beat up all Oba to try to get the belt back. Of course, he lost to Ricky, but then he was all on Ricky's neck. Yeah, Trick was the guy in 2025. And who is your number three, CJ? While you're giving me the skip card.
Yeah. Skipped. But yeah. I might have to go like CM Punk.
CM Punk is your three.
Okay.
Man. Why CM Punk?
Hmm?
Dun, dun, dun. Did you like CM Punk?
What?
I
I can't like him?
Oh Lord. Anyway, yes, his number three is CM Punk.
All right. Best in the world. Number three to a 9-year-old. Um, that brings me to my number two. And one thing's for certain, two things for sure, and that was that Trick Williams had his breakout year. Trick Williams is my number two. Um, like you said, I I saw Trick Williams wrestle at the beginning of the year. I saw him drop the title to Obafemi. I bought a ticket to see Obafemi take that title off of Trick Williams. And I think if Trick would have went up to the main roster at that point, um, it wouldn't have been good for him. Because that was not the guy we needed him to be. What we saw in the summer that he developed, around, I believe it was April, that was Trick Williams firing on all cylinders. That was the guy that we needed him to be. He was interesting. He was talkative. He was, like you said, a thorn in everybody's side. It's hot. It's crazy to say you're you're a championship. You're a champion, and you're harassing these people in this company, and you don't even go there.
Yes, the audacity. The audacity to be the champion, not going there and still pissing everybody. Yeah, Jimmy Kalani were really good at that. Too
Yeah.
good.
So I mean, he he did it better. uh, Like you said, he lost the championship and he got better, and that's so rare. He antagonized the hottest wrestlers, Ricky Saints, Joe Henry, Mike Santana to some degree. He even had a segment with The Undertaker this year where, I gotta say, he held his own. Uh, Trickin' A was probably my favorite line this year. Uh, we're literally renaming the whole brand. Again, it's crazy to say that you're doing your best work and it's not even the place that you go. Uh, Promo wise, he was there, ability wise, and I will say low key one of his better matches this year was the strap match. I think it was the strap match against Carl Fredrickson. I can't remember what his name was
Oh
in
yeah,
NXT.
oh yeah, the guy who beat him and then he retired. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
that was like one of Trick's better matches, I'd say, but it was still a good match. Obviously he had the match with Joe Henry, Mike Santana, a couple with Oba. The match where he murdered Javon Evans on the stage. Uh, he was just full of like a lot of memorable moments. Like I said, one thing for certain, two things for sure. Like let's talk about it. There was a lot of talk to, there was a lot to talk about. Trick Williams in 2025, and him going up to the main roster, it needs to happen at this point. At the beginning of the year, I'd say, I'm not sure if he's ready. He might drown, but now I could say, yeah, Trick is going to be fine on the main roster. That's why he's my number two.
Oof, my number two would have been number one had certain things hadn't happened. But my number two, Dirty Dom. Dirty Dominic. He was literally, it's crazy because he's the common through line in a lot of things. Like the whole Judgment Day is because he's dealing with that and Roxanne trying to mess with him and Finn getting in his head. And then him dealing with El Grande Americano and everyone's trying to figure out what that was. The whole fact he won the title off the back of Finn Balor at WrestleMania, which was crazy. The whole feud with AJ with the doctor's note and the fact that he was like, please God, let this. He was praying like, please God, please don't let this. He just had the Riz, the Gen Z Riz. He was just the guy, man. It was him and the Boot and Eddie having to get the nod. The fact that he was at the post show yelling, "I'm the most homegrown WWE superstar here. I was here at 5 years old."
I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm the most homegrown guy here." Like, what are you talking about? I've been here since 5. And I'm like, damn, you got a point, sir.
He ain't wrong.
But yeah, him beating John Cena, Liv coming back, finally being on his side. Yeah, he was around, and when he was around, it was must see TV. He is the guy, and now they're setting up for him to have one hell of a 2026 because I think they're going to start highlighting more of the younger talent that needs to be the future, and he is definitely one of those guys that is going to be the future of that company. So number two, Dirty Dom, without question. And CJ, who is your number two? I see you looking.
I think Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, number two.
Because they shouldn't won that War Game since Brock stepped out, and I bet Roman Reigns can beat Brock in a 1v1. Fair 1v1.
And so what do you think about Roman Reigns in 2025? This whole 2025, the year he's at.
Super good.
Super good. He did main event. He did race. He main evented WrestleMania. He beat Bronson. He did have those issues with the Usos not wanting to see him to Christmas, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid number two.
Solid number two.
We should know the last one already.
Well, we know who your number one is, but
Okay, I don't need to talk.
Oh, you don't need to talk. James got to get to his number one.
All right. Well, I'm surprised to say it. It pains me to say it, but my number one is actually John Cena. Um, like I said, who did I want to see this year? Who made me watch the television screen the most out of the men? And that was John Cena. And I mean, it was mostly due to the fact that it was his last year. Um, he only had, so many matches. And, I would say that all his matches were must see, unfortunately. There wasn't one match that I felt, yeah, I'll skip this one, or I don't need to see this one. Um, they were all must see. They were all, I mean, to some degree, most of them were good quality, um, better quality than we've seen out of him in, other years. I'm looking at you, 2010. I mean, sure, there was the moment of him turning heel and aligning himself with The Rock was fantastic. Not his fault that it got completely clusterfucked into nothing. Um, I mean, the match with Cody at WrestleMania was abysmal dog shit. Let's just be honest. Uh, um, but I mean, the match with Randy Orton at Backlash, um, it was gaga, but it was good gaga. It was interesting. It was fun. I think it was one of their better matches, and I've never been a fan of John Cena Randy Orton matches. The whole Ron Cena thing was fantastic. CM Punk in Saudi Arabia, that was a thing. John Cena getting choked out by the Bronze and Penta dancing his ass down to the ring. Yeah, that happened. Um, the match at Money in the Bank. I mean, it didn't necessarily have to happen, but I mean, again, I was there, so I can't necessarily complain all that much about it. Um, the SummerSlam match was exactly what it needed to be. Uh, it was I think it was the proper ending to an actual the rivalry side of John Cena. And then the second half of the retirement tour was just John Cena celebration, have fun. Um, like I said, AJ Styles was one of the best matches. People were crying over Brock Lesnar. I thought the Brock Lesnar match was fantastic. Um, I wasn't expecting anything different. Um, yeah, I mean, say what you will, there was some peaks, there were some valleys, I'd say, but I think that the peaks were pretty memorable. Um, unfortunately, it ended kind of the way that it did with, Gunther, but again, there was nobody on the men's side that made me watch the TV screen more than John Cena because of his last year in the business. Um, I do, like I said, it was an interesting year. Some peaks, some valleys. Um, some say that it was a failed. It was the worst retirement tour ever. Some guys don't even get a retirement tour. Sometimes it's just one and done. I'm looking at you, Goldberg. But that is what it is. I thought it. I thought it was a success. So John Cena, my number one.
Oof. I mean, CJ, you want to speak because he agrees. John Cena's number one.
Yeah, it's John Cena. Especially when he was younger. Like, oh my gosh. Like, won the spinner bill like 5 times. Just crazy.
We're talking about this year. Everything John Cena accomplished this year.
Oh, 17-time undisputable champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was cool.
Intercontinental champion
And I
as
was
well.
there as well.
We call that bias because we were there. That's why. Oh, yeah, yeah. You see, oh gosh, y'all in this argument. Y'all made me change my number one. Because my number one was about to be Gunther. I ain't even got.
I knew you were gonna go with Gunther.
Don't say that name ever again.
Gunther was just savage this year. When you have a 2021, 2025, where your only two matches you lost were to CM Punk and Jay Uso, that's a hell of a year. However, I must say, yes, John Cena kind of made it worth it to see him because we knew the expectation of him leaving. And it's funny because, like you were saying, people were complaining that the retirement tour was a bust, and I'm just like trying to think, name a wrestler who even gave a retirement tour.
Right.
So I mean, usually when we know that they're going out, we know closer to the end when they know it's their last match, rather than getting the chance to detach from that wrestler as the character, right?
Right.
So this was probably the first time, and that's where I think a lot of people get it confused because it's like we've never had someone do this in the sense, that, oh yeah, I'm going to give you a year of the best stuff that I got, and once it's done, it's done. What pisses me off is that he wanted to do 300 dates. And TKO greedy ass, which I'm surprised, was like, "No, we don't want to." I think that's what throws me off the most. It's like TKO, like, we want all this money. Hey, John Cena, I'm retiring. I can do 300 dates, and they're like, "Nah, you don't really need to."
I mean, considering that he looked, I mean, the match with Cody was, you could see that John Cena was in a lot of pain. So, I mean, I think it was the best that he did the dates that he did, and not, much more
Well,
than that.
well, even if he did 200 dates, I think him him having those dates would have gave him a lot more interaction with a lot of talent that they are trying to build for the future. Because not every interaction has to lead to a match. I mean, the importance of, let's say, like if a Trick had that interaction with Cena,
Mm,
or a Oba Femi having that interaction with Cena,
I got you.
like like you don't have to have the match. You could just have the fact that just them being in the same room with them is an aura. Being in that same rare air with him. Um, and who would have known we would have gotten the Seth Cena match that people were hoping to get as a rivalry, um, before Seth got hurt. Um, who else you would have? I mean, Sammy got his.
You know, uh, despite everything, I mean, he wrestled primarily on every PLE. So,
Yeah, this is the first time he did a whole Big Four schedule since fucking what,
yeah.
2013, 2017.
Something like that. So, I mean, he was. I don't think you should have like expected him to be, on Raws and SmackDowns wrestling. I mean, obviously Madison Square Garden and Boston were going to be, their own separate thing. But like Sheboygan, like I don't think anybody was expecting him to wrestle there. Um, I think
Yeah,
that
he
the
didn't.
match,
He didn't have to, and that was my whole point. Like, they could have used him in so many other ways.
right. But I think that the matches that he had were enough. If I had to say any ones that were maybe a little bit off the rift, I'd say the Logan Paul match and the tag match teaming with Logan. Those would be the two matches. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because to go from teaming with Logan to then going against Logan in Paris is crazy work. Um, to say the least. Um, I mean, who else? I mean, it's so many people he could have got and just sprinkled the Cena dust on. Um,
True.
just just be like the Mary Poppins, but WWE got his way out.
I just I find it so interesting that you know with coming off such a banger year like 2024 for WWE and 2025, we didn't have any of the major players in our groups, in our top fives. No Cody Rhodes, no Drew McIntyre, no CM Punk, no um, you know, no Roman Reigns, no, it was literally, you know, the more, lower on the totem pole guys. But those lower guys, made a bigger impression on us than, the big, 5 to 7 names that we were usually used to. You know what I mean?
True, but I also think more people. Here's the brief reality, the harsh reality of it. A lot of those guys in 2024 probably will not be there in 2028, and the WWE was in a year where they're trying to figure out, okay, who are going to be the dudes that we put in this forefront for next year? Because I'm letting you know right now, Gunther is going to be their Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, it is funny because I heard this too on some other shows. It's like, who are we trying to put as the person who can beat that hurdle, which is Gunther, who is getting stronger every day, right?
Right.
So, as you can see, they're going Gunther, oh, not Gunther, Braun, Dom. I mean, Javon is only 21, and they're looking at him as that dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Already.
and then you're thinking Mello. You're thinking, I mean, even Austin.
Mm,
Uh, I'm not saying that they're putting him in a position to be the top guy, but they got to figure it out.
yeah.
So these are the guys that they're trying to figure out who is going, like that core group of that next generation of bigger stars.
Right.
So I know people were hoping that we get 2025 as if it is 2024, but this is that transitional year that people don't really want to talk about.
Well, we'll definitely
Or
see.
actually, this is the beginning of it, actually. And watching 2026, you're going to see a lot of new players.
Well, we'll definitely see. This time next year, what our top fives are looking like, and who tops those list. Obviously this year it went to an old timer retiring, with a couple of new up and comers in those. But yeah, we'll see. All right, I believe that will conclude this episode. Um, as a whole, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Extra and on Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShane993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko on socials and the Chronicles. We are finally getting back into the groove of getting over Survivor Series and highlighting that. And we're looking forward to next year because possibly a House of Glory showing in LA.
Well, for Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Merry Christmas, Hana Kwanzaa, there yo.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.